And honestly, let's be real. This is the creator of Deadpool, one of the biggest franchises to come out of the Fox universe, that next to the X-Men. But even when the X-Men were failing, Deadpool came in like gangbusters, made a lot of money. And that was one of the IPs that most definitely got greenlit because they knew it was a moneymaker when they came in. Why would you even slight the creator of Deadpool? I mean, of Deadpool and Cable. Why would you even do that? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? This your man Dre Mac. Come to you again with another episode of the Dre Mac Show. This is a quick video because there was some information that came out over the past few days from writer, creator, artist Rob Liefeld. And he took to his Twitter account. He also has a podcast and a lot of stuff. Actually, that Bo DeMayo came out and corroborated with Rob Liefeld about how Marvel is treating him, because technically Rob Liefeld is out at Marvel. And from what I understand, he was treated horribly by Marvel. So what I want to do is bring up a couple of the tweets. I want to bring up something that Bo DeMayo actually talked about. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. And then at the end of this, I'm going to just give my personal thoughts, especially just how Marvel has been moving. To me, Marvel has been moving a little weird in the last couple days. Well, not a couple days, the last couple years or so. It's just a lot of reports have been coming out just the way Marvel has been treating a lot of creators, especially ones that has close ties to the comics, with rumors talking about they didn't want any writers that knew anything about the comics, and all of that, especially when this is coming from Kevin Feige when he was at Fox, that literally Bryan Singer did not want comics on the set and he snuck Hugh Jackman comics. So for us to hear these type of rumors from Marvel Disney is alarming and concerning, and we're technically seeing that in their work right now. So let me transition to this. Let's find out exactly what is going on with this and kind of let's get into it. All right, all right, all right. So this is some of Rob Liefeld's tweets, and one of the tweets that I'm going to share with you is one that was down here. This is the one that was alarming, and this is part of the podcast that he talks about. I'm not going to get into the podcast right now. What I might do is go in on a later date and probably listen to what is going on. But like I said, this is a quick video about Rob Liefeld just being out, and I wanted to get out some of the tweets that he was talking about. So let's get into it. On this particular tweet is what got me, because there is there is this right here where it says the absolute ghosting of myself, my family at the Deadpool Wolverine premiere. And this is what he talks about in this podcast. So when I looked at that, I'm like, wow, there's something that's going on. They're saying he's saying he was ghosted, at the premiere. And then he said also, no one canceled me. Since the Deadpool Wolverine premiere, Marvel has offered me multiple assignments featuring Cable and the X-Force. I've declined all of them. And you bet I have those receipts. My last Deadpool is out next week. I made it for you. Enjoy it. Which I'm going to try to find a local comic shop since mine up and left and try to find that comic. In their history, Marvel gets angry at creators. They were furious with Robert Kirkman when he left, and they immediately killed our Kill Raven series we completed. We were paid in full, but their pettiness prevented them from publishing it. It's in their corporate DNA. And let's keep going. Corporate DNA to think they punish talent. Give me a break. So it sounds like Marvel on the creative side was having Rob Liefeld was having some problems with Marvel, just the creative. It then it goes into a number of things, but I want to go, and I think I still have it here. Bo DeMayo actually tweeted some stuff that was coincided with Rob Liefeld and what he said. Um, and this is another tweet. This is from February 6th. So this has been going on for the last couple of days. You know what I mean? It said in the follow-up, man, so embarrassed for you at Marvel, Walt Disney Company from 2016 to Tim Miller, you guys. And I want to read this because I want to see exactly what was going on. And it says, I guess this is to Tim. He said, "Hope you're feeling good and excited. Just wanted to drop you a heartfelt note and thank you for our names were in the credit of the film. I watched Days of Future Past again yesterday on cable and ran it back twice through the credits to find that there was no comic book names mentioned at all. I know you put in the good work, and I'm very thankful for it. It's always the little things that make a difference. Much appreciated. See you next week, Rob." So this was Rob to Tim Miller. You know what I mean? Talking about how they're not giving the credits to the comic creator. You know what I mean? And in again, I was trying to retweet everything that was going on, especially when I had my own stuff going on. And I'm going to read the Hollywood Reporter, and then I'm going to wrap this up. And on this one, he retweeted on the 6th that the Kirby estate sued Marvel. The Ditko estate sued Marvel. This is not a particular strength for them. So Marvel has an issue with comic book creators. I mean, they showed Stan Lee, love and stuff like that when he was alive. But also what we notice is that is that ever since he's died, the way that the actual company has been ran, the way that they're telling these stories has been completely off killed. It's been almost to the point where it's horrible and absolutely bad to watch. And there's been some bad stuff that they've produced out of there. You know what I mean? So uh so um all I'm saying is there's some things that they could work on, they could be able to do to fix this, but obviously they feel like right now, to me, Marvel Disney feels like they're too big for comic creators. I've already made a video about how they're treating the black A-list stars, because I believe if Stan Lee was alive, then T'Challa wouldn't have been dead. They wouldn't have sidelined Luke Cage. We would have found out more about Monica Rambeau. There would have been a lot more going on that we could be able to to look at and all of that. But obviously, to me, it doesn't seem like Marvel wants to do that. And to me, that is a absolute problem. So let's get into this Hollywood Reporter link, and let's see what they're talking about in the Hollywood Reporter. And after we come for the Hollywood Reporter, we're going to wrap this thing up. So let me click this link real quick. It said Deadpool creator Rob Liefeld would no longer work with Marvel. All right, let me just go to the actual Hollywood Reporter link, and I'm going to share this screen right here. It's a Deadpool creator Rob Liefeld would no longer work with Marvel after Deadpool Wolverine premiere. Good Lord, I can't even spell. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it because my brain ain't working right now. Whatever. Y'all laugh. It's funny. Come on now. Sometimes you can have a brain fart. But it says writer or artist describes several perceived slights, such as being denied access to an after party, and makes a head-turning claim Kevin Feige does not treat comic book creators well. All right, let's get into it. Rob Liefeld is done with Marvel. The comic artist and creator says that after more than 30 years, he's severing ties with the publisher from whom he created renowned character Deadpool and Cable. Liefeld laid out his decision in a 90-minute episode of his Robservation podcast, as well as a follow-up interview in the Hollywood Reporter, where he detailed a series of perceived slights at the July's New York premiere of Deadpool and Wolverine. And honestly, if you notice, in every Deadpool and Wolverine, he has a cameo. I did not notice this. He did not have a cameo in this, and there was no credits to his name in Deadpool and Wolverine. So those are two things that I noticed. It says at a premiere, Liefeld learned that he and his family were not invited to the after party, something he was accustomed to attending. He was also felt snubbed by Disney brass, including Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige, whom he says was near him on the red carpet, but did not acknowledge him. And honestly, let's be real. This is the creator of Deadpool, one of the biggest franchises to come out of the Fox universe, that next to the X-Men. But even when the X-Men were failing, Deadpool came in like gangbusters, made a lot of money. And that was one of the IPs that most definitely got greenlit because they knew it was a moneymaker when they came in. Why would you even slight the creator of Deadpool? I mean, of Deadpool and Cable. Why would you even do that? You know, Deadpool, Domino, you know, Gideon, a host of other characters, Major X. There's a lot of people he introduced. Why would you do him like that? And again, if Stan Lee was alive, would you do Stan Lee like that? No. So why would you even do the comic creators? You know, there's Jim Lee, there's Todd McFarlane and all these other creators. You know, why? This is the same thing they went through in the 90s. So Kevin Feige, why? We gotta have questions, and we gotta have some answers on this. Why would that even happen? Let's keep going. All right, he says, and there was another appearance, like Liefeld said. He posed for professional photos. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed a line. It said it was meant to embarrass, diminish, and defeat me, Liefeld said on his podcast of not gaining access to the after party. And there was another appearance, like Liefeld said, he posed for professional photos with the creators of Deadpool and Wolverine team, but later was told by his publicist that those photos were deleted. He believes that they were only taken as a courtesy and not intended to be used through other photos featuring Liefeld alone, as well as with his family, appeared as part of Disney's Getty's press portal from the event. Soon after July's premiere, he decided he would cut ties with Marvel, which he believed no longer wanted him around. At some point, you go, I perceived the message. The message was clear, he said on the podcast. Liefeld said that his discomfort with Marvel began in early 2023 when he learned the company made the controversial decision to change the credits of Wolverine, awarding co-creator status to editor Rob Thomas. The character was created decades before Liefeld worked in comics, but he is close to Christine Vallada, the widow of the late Wolverine co-creator Lynn Wein, who was upset with the decision. A year later, on June 3rd, 2024, Liefeld fired off an email to Marvel asking if he could receive a special credit on Deadpool and Wolverine and inquired what else might be offered to him in terms of access to the movie premiere and other promotional opportunities. Liefeld did not ask for more money, as he already has perhaps the richest deal among Marvel creators. Marvel generally credits comic creators at the end of the movie, but Liefeld wanted to be elevated to something more significant, citing the opening credits of 1978 Superman, which prominently listed Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster as co-creators of Superman, which is true. And I think, you know, and stopping it right here, I just think that would be a great way to do that. For the simple fact is that these guys are creating the characters that we're seeing in these movies. And this is what I've always talked about is you have to respect the character. And I've already said, as soon as they kill T'Challa, what is that going to do for other creators? What is that going to do for other comics or the comic book creations? So when you have that stuff, you know what I mean? And you look at it, what do you think is going to happen? When they do that to him, the biggest black comic book creator, the biggest comic book character that ever came to life on screen, and then what else are you going to do? And we have seen time and time again Marvel legitimately fumble in the bag, no matter if it's to the creators, the actors. Look what they're doing with Mahershala Ali, with Blade, all of this stuff. So this is a telltale sign that, you know, it's not the actors, it's not the creators, because let me not get into the Jonathan Majors situation, you know, compared to what, you know, other actors of his caliber has done, you know, and they got, you know, an opportunity to finish their craft. You know, just look what Marvel is doing and ask yourself, is Marvel the happy-go-lucky place that we thought it was? Yes, we supported all the movies, but we got to really start thinking about what's going on. All right, let's finish this up. He said Marvel's treatment of creators has never been their strength, Liefeld wrote in an email. Without the worlds, the characters, and the concepts that we create, And in this specific case, the role of Deadpool, there are no films to shoot, no blockbusters to distribute. I am not the easy button at Staples. I am the human imagination behind it all. He asked if his request could be elevated to Feige or Disney CEO Bob Iger. Comic book creators cannot continue to be regulated as afterthoughts. This is easy to address. Unless I reach out to address it, it would never manifest, he continued. Liefeld did not receive a response, but was told by his agent at Verva that the message was not received well inside of Marvel. A day later, he tweeted, "My breasts were screamed at today. We are not Fox. Tell me about it." Also hung up on. He believes that the tension stemming from this email led to him not being invited to the Deadpool and Wolverine after party. Liefeld, while in his 20s in the early 1990s, became part of the Rarefield group of millionaire comic book creators. Over the years, he's developed what his detractors called a hard charger reputation and a habit of minimizing the contributions of others who also have worked on Deadpool. They point to an off-cited 2016 New York Times article in which he downplayed the work of Fabian Nicieza, who is credited as a co-creator for scripting Deadpool's first appearance in New Mutants 98 from a plot by Liefeld, who illustrated the 1990 issue. While we respect that he contributed, he does not respect what others have contributed, says one insider. But Liefeld, for his part, tells the Hollywood Reporter he is the one who lobbied 20th Century Studios to give both himself and the Caesar co-created status in the first two Deadpool movies. He has cited writer Joe Kelly for introducing the now integral fourth wall breaking characteristics of the anti-hero 7 years later after Rob Liefeld created him. He often credits Deadpool stars Ryan Reynolds for elevating the character to the global stage in new levels of popularity. And this is something that I said about even when you're looking at T'Challa Black Panther. Look how Chadwick Boseman elevated. It would be nice for someone else to continue the elevation alongside your Deadpools, your Captain Americas, your Thors, your Iron Mans, so on and so forth. So those characters and the actors that represent them in the films matter, because then it draws you back right to the original creation, because now we want more of that. We want more of the originality. We want to collect the comics. We want to read the comics. We want the merch. We want all of this when we embrace these characters. So that's why I'm saying it's so important for Marvel to do what's right when it comes to these characters. Rob Liefeld may be a tough cookie to crack, but I believe, and I'm a big fan of Rob Liefeld. I'm going to tag him in this video. I'm probably going to send him this video, but I'm a big fan of his. I would love to interview him one day because I'm that much of a big fan of his. I believe that he has some legitimate rights to this. No different than anybody, no different than with Bob Kane and the other creator of Batman. They did that in Batman 1989. So why can't we do it here, is what I'm saying. All right, let's keep going. All right. Ultimately, Liefeld and the Caesar was given the standard Deadpool created by credit at the end of Deadpool and Wolverine. Liefeld was also acknowledged in the movie itself in a way few living comic book creators have enjoyed. The film's signature scene in which Deadpool and Wolverine battle dozens of Deadpool variants, known as the Deadpool Corpse, takes place in front of a store called Liefeld's Just Feet. An inside joke about the artist who fans says does not draw feet. Liefeld was also invited to visit the set in London. This all sounds like someone who was indeed accorded the respect of the prominent comic book creator. But when asked by the Hollywood Reporter about these boons, Liefeld suggested that during the London visit, he began to feel unwelcome, though he declined to elaborate. He tells the Hollywood Reporter that it was a contrast to how he felt in Deadpool 2016 and Deadpool 2 2018, which were made by 20th Century Fox. He notes that he was involved in test screenings of those films and met with the marketing team on Deadpool 2. They had me along for the ride and I caused zero drama. I was happy to be there, says Liefeld. In the podcast, Liefeld exerted a head-turning opinion about Feige, who generally is only spoken of in Hollywood and comic book circles with superlatives. Kevin Feige does not treat comic book creators well. This is my personal experience, Liefeld said on the podcast. Asked about the topic, Liefeld tells the Hollywood Reporter, do I think he can improve his relationship with comic book creators? Yes. He says he wishes Feige would have spent a few moments to chat with him and his family at the Deadpool Wolverine premiere and would like Marvel to acknowledge creators more in general. He points to DC Studios' James Gunn as an executive and filmmaker who's constantly praising comic creators, flying them to the Superman set. And I said, the difference between James Gunn and Kevin Feige, James Gunn is a comic book fan first. He's a comic book fan first, a filmmaker second. So he's going to take more integral love into the creation and the characters more than you would have with a Kevin Feige. And if you're thinking I'm lying, look at the way the comic book these comic book creations are being portrayed on film. Wonder Man being race bit. Monica Rambeau not getting any shine. Hell, Rhodey has been in the MCU since the start of the first Iron Man, and you can't even get Armor Wars off the ground. Blade, you introduce him in 2019, and then look what happens, and all these other creations. You know what I mean? And you pick and choose what you want. And you never really acknowledge these people. And if you really look, they really never acknowledge these guys, except for a few. And maybe they don't cause a lot of stir, but you have to be able to understand where he comes from. So I 1000% agree at where he's at. And I'm also going to send some information. And hopefully, I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm going to send some information above the mail. Hopefully, I can see if I could be able to get him on the show or something like that. If I could do an interview with him, that'd be awesome. But we'll see, what I can make out of that. And if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. But let's finish this and let's get to going out of here. Feige, however, is also known publicly to lie creators. He name checks creators at San Diego Comic-Con. He often seen hobnobbing with creators on the Marvel red carpet. The studio also flew a number of creators on the set of fans such as For First Steps, and in October held a New York Comic Book Con panel pairing the stars of Daredevil and the comic book creators together. Liefeld is known for being a relentless, upbeat promoter of his work and personal brand, and despite the conflicting feelings, enjoyed hosting a series of fan screenings for Deadpool and Wolverine this summer. He admits he was nervous about dropping this podcast and revealing what he considers a loss. Getting denied from a party isn't the type of thing he'd usually publicize, but it seems like his fan base liked his more vulnerable side, or maybe it was spilling the Marvel tea as the episode became the most downloaded in Observation's 5-year history. It also comes 1 week before his final Marvel work with hit stands Deadpool Team Up #5. You can't always share your hits. Sometimes you have to share your misses. This one was a miss, says Liefeld, who adds, it was important for me to do the podcast so people could hear my voice. You didn't hear anyone who was angry at the time. At times, it was hard to hide how I was. And that was the end of that. So let's transition real quick and let's go ahead and wrap this up. All right, so Rob Liefeld had a lot to say. I still believe that Kevin Feige picks and chooses who he wants. Maybe he felt like, we don't know what Kevin Feige feels or whatever. Hopefully, he comes out with a statement. Somebody from Marvel comes out with a statement. They patched the relationship up with Rob Liefeld, because you can say what he wants to about his drawings. The guy is an absolute stud when it comes to marketing and all of that. And at the end of the day, all you kind of really want is these guys to get along, because the more that you have these creators there, and not trying to tell the story, but just helping with the creation of these stories, the more that we could be able to get our adaptations that we're reading more well represented on film. I mean, personally, for me, if Ryan Coogler decided to lead the Black Panther franchise, the best person to get is Reginald Hunley. Not only is he a filmmaker, writer, and producer, he also wrote Black Panther 2005. They introduced Shuri. It introduced a lot of concepts like Doom War and all of that. So I would love for someone like that to take over, and more other creators, to be able to be really involved in these creations. So, but what do you guys think? Make sure to put it in the comment section below. But don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so you can never, ever, ever miss one of my videos again. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. Peace and vibe higher, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Where's my outro at? Because I gotta go.
Wait a minute. You're telling me the video's over?
What?
Huh. Okay, I guess so. If you have came to this portion of the video, thank you so very much for sticking to the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And if you really want to, you don't got to, go ahead and follow the social media links that's down below. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. Peace and vibe higher, y'all. Y'all take care of yourself.